Your wake-up call may come from the clouds. There is a chance for storms here in central Indiana overnight that may linger into the morning. Thanks for inviting us in. It's 11 o'clock. Angela's tracking it all, and she's got the timeline for these possible storms.
Yeah, we say possible. It really looked like we were going to get a big line of storms overnight and early tomorrow. So far, those complexes have stayed to our west. Let's show you that with the latest on satellite and radar. This is the second complex of storms that has developed and has stayed west of central Indiana. However, the weather system itself will still move across parts of central Indiana, so we will keep that storm chance in the forecast overnight and through the early part of tomorrow. This cluster of storms responsible for some severe thunderstorm and flash flood warnings. We've also been tracking another complex of storms much farther north across the northern sections of Michigan. Bit of an update from the Storm Prediction Center. We're still at a level 1 threat overnight. You can see with Future Track 13 mostly west for now, but as we get into early tomorrow morning, the boundary's still in play and the chance for some showers and thunderstorms. I'll walk you through the rest of your Tuesday in a few minutes.
All right, Angela, we'll see you in a little bit. A plan that would raise the cost of car ownership in Greenwood just passed the council. All that stands between drivers and those higher vehicle taxes is the mayor's signature. Our Logan Gay was in the room tonight for that vote that boils down to road funding and fees.
The Greenwood City Council unanimously passed the wheel tax and vehicle excise surtax ordinance, and the next stop is the mayor's desk.
We feel like we're being forced into this by the state.
Greenwood Common Council President Mike Campbell says that's how the council feels after voting to increase taxes on Greenwood drivers to help pay for road repairs.
The governor has said if we don't have skin in the game, then we're not going to get any help from the state.
Campbell says Greenwood residents already pay a $25 county wheel tax. Under this ordinance, they'd pay an additional $25 city wheel tax. Larger vehicles would pay $40.
We've been put in a situation where we have to pass a wheel tax in order to qualify for these crossing grants.
The city controller calls it a necessary evil of Senate Bill 1, a law aimed at saving homeowners and property taxes, but it means less funding for communities.
The cost of not having this is we would lose out on being able to do essentially $3 million of road projects every year.
City leaders say those are road projects they can't afford to delay.
It's more expensive every year to fix the roads, and so we need to keep up with them.
One resident suggested the city put an end date on the wheel tax in 2030.
That would give the voters of Greenwood, Indianapolis, Edinburgh, all around surrounding communities a chance to either change the people that are in office at the State House, which are creating this mess, or to convince them to have a little more common sense.
We need to work to get people that will understand the burden they're placing on local municipalities.
After the mayor's signature, the ordinance will go into effect at the beginning of next year. In Greenwood, Logan Gay, 13 News.
This may sound very familiar to drivers here in Indy. Just last week, Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett vetoed a proposal to raise the wheel and excise surtax here in Marion County. City County Council President Maggie Lewis told us that they will hold a vote to override that veto at next month's meeting. Now, some councilors say it's needed to reach a $50 million match in road funding from the state of Indiana. Mayor Joe Hogsett released a plan to cover that money in some other ways, and we've got those details for you. You can check it out over on WTHR.com. Tonight, the city of Indianapolis and an IMPD sergeant are named in a new lawsuit sparked by an arrest at Riverside Park. All of this unfolded back in April. Police initially accused an 18-year-old of pointing a gun at an officer, but prosecutors then dropped the charges against the man after they say police body cam video did not support those allegations. The lawsuit claims the sergeant who made the arrest fabricated evidence and gave false statements about what happened, saying the arrest violated the 18-year-old's constitutional rights. This lawsuit asks for a jury trial, and it also demands unspecified damages. Both the city and IMPD declined to comment on pending litigation. A judge just sent a woman to prison for shooting at a dryer repairman. 45-year-old Reba Wilson called Nate Baird to fix her machine back in March of 2024. Prosecutors say Baird did the work, but Wilson refused to pay and pulled a gun on him. Baird ran off, hearing a gunshot as he made his way out of the home. Wilson accepted a plea deal, admitting to criminal confinement and intimidation.
I want to live. I don't want to be in a vegetated state for mistakes that I have made. I need a chance, Your Honor. That's all I can say.
A appliance repair person should be able to do their job without having a gun pointed at them and a shot fired at them. When crimes like this are tolerated, they put fear into those who have to do this job every day.
Wilson has multiple sclerosis. She and her attorney argued for home attention. That way she could get care. Ultimately, the judge in the case sentenced her to 10 years in prison, noting 21 previous arrests. A conductor and composer from Indianapolis has now agreed to plead guilty to 5 counts of possession of child sex abuse material. Investigators say Julian Wachner admitted to using cryptocurrency hundreds of times to buy child porn. Now, according to the court documents, Wachner faces up to 10 years in prison if the judge accepts this deal. He is expected back in court next month. Well, right now there's a lot of uncertainty in the produce section. It's hard to know what is safe to eat and what you should avoid amid this cyclosporasis outbreak. That uncertainty has some people putting their trust in local vendors. Take the famous tomato in Speedway. Owner Mike Ray gets fresh produce delivered a few times every week. So a lot of the focus of this outbreak is on lettuce, but Ray told us he doesn't serve bagged lettuce or salad kits. That's because problems often come from the cleaning process of those items. So now all the worry about parasites is having unintended targets, like businesses that don't even sell the recalled products.
Don't eat any fruit, don't eat any vegetables. It's like, come on. It kills the little guy every time.
The latest numbers out of the CDC show more than 1,600 cases of this illness across 5 states, including Indiana. So far, health officials tell us that customers should avoid iceberg lettuce from Taylor Farms de Mexico. So you know the biggest stars on the Indiana Fever, right? Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston. But the team welcomes some new players today, making their own impact on this team. Eli Gain shows us what inspired this limited edition lineup.
Before the team turned their attention to their final game before the All-Star break, the Indiana Fever took part of Monday to make a lasting impact off of the court, as 5 young ladies became honorary members of the team for the day. 5 athletes from the Hendricks County Special Olympics basketball program were officially part of the Indiana Fever for the day, each signing a 1-day contract and getting the chance to meet the coaches and their teammates before practice.
They're really special. I mean, look, yes, basketball is what we do, but everything that we do is bigger than basketball. And, you know, the ability to impact community, the ability to give, you know, young people an opportunity to experience things that they might not be able to experience, and to really bring joy is important.
They're a big reason that we're able to do this because they're so welcoming to outside people into practice. They're the ones that, you know, we say, hey, we've got 5 new signees, and they were the first to welcome them before they even signed their contract. Staff engaged with them, really makes them part of the team, and that's something that they don't have to do, but they choose to do.
Meanwhile, the Fever are getting set for their final game before the WNBA All-Star break. Indiana hosts the Connecticut Sun Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, looking to win for the 6th time in its last 7 games. Head coach Stephanie White says the team's focus is finishing the first half strong and not letting the upcoming break become a distraction.
I mean, we got to be locked in. We got to stay locked in. You know, it's about us, and it's about our journey. You know, certainly reminding our players that we're not on All-Star break until after that game, making sure that we stay locked in, and, you know, it starts with our prep today. The Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun will tip off Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, and you can watch it right here on Channel 13. Covering the Fever for 13 Sports, I'm Eli Gain.
And remember, we are your local TV home for the Indiana Fever. As Eli mentioned, you can watch their Wednesday showdown right here on WTHR. Fever and Sun set to turn up the heat at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Tip-off 8 o'clock, and then we'll pick things back up after the All-Star break. You can see our full broadcast schedule on your screen and, of course, on WTHR.com/fever.